Welcome to the Red Dirt America podcast. I'm Chuck Taylor, and on this podcast, we'll feature some interviews that I've done for my Texas Countdown show and my morning show for KHYI in Dallas, Texas. This week, we feature a recent interview I did with Americana artist Moot Davis.
'Cause it's nighttime, hey, in big old whiskey.
Nighttime and Big Whiskey from his album Hierarchy of Crows. That is Moot Davis, who happens to be in studio. Dude, what a great tune, man.
Oh, hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Let's talk about this song too.
Cool.
I mean, we were talking before we went on the air. You kind of experimented with this song. That breakdown there is just great.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, and recently became really sort of influenced by them, especially on this album. And I just was kind of trying to experiment a little bit and spread the wings out a little bit and see what we could do. So the breakdown was part of that experimentation, and I love the song and I love the way it turned out.
Yeah, you bring up Zeppelin. You grew up in New Jersey, and with rockers like, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen, and what's that group, Bon Jovi?
Right, I heard of them.
So,
yeah.
and you kind of were a rocker guy yourself till a fateful day that a Pepsi commercial came on the TV.
Yeah, and in the Pepsi commercial there was a Hank Williams song, "Your Cheating Heart," playing, and I don't know what it was. I really wasn't a fan of country music, growing up, and then when I heard that, it just sort of cut through all that pop country stuff that I was listening to, and it. For whatever reason, I just honed in right in on it, and then had to go find everything of Hank Williams Sr.'s, and really just sort of went to school,
Yeah, and you got into him and some of the other guys like Ernest Tubbs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this was kind of in your background though too, because I mean your parents were from West Virginia,
right? Yeah, so, folks are from West Virginia, and I was aware of country music and aware of Hank Williams, but not totally. Like my dad would come home singing "Hey Good Looking" to my mom, but just as a joke. And my father had a band with his brothers, and they would play in the basement, and they'd play for like a half hour and then fight or something like that, and it wouldn't really go anywhere. But they had their own songs. They wrote these really cool songs, and they were more rock. So that's kind of what I was used to,
Right.
But when that country stuff came in, and right at the time that I was starting to write songs, 2 or 3 chords was all I could really manage. So it just seemed to all make sense.
Did you get picked on any because Jersey? You're not gonna like country music in Jersey.
Right. Well, it's funny because New Jersey gets a bad rap, but it is very rural. Once you get away from Manhattan and New York City and the New York side of things, it gets very rural. And there was a radio station out there that, as soon as I had a handful of songs that I'd written, started doing this Opry style every Saturday night live radio show where they perform, and out in Surgeonsville, New Jersey, WDVR, I think it was. Anyway,
I know somebody who works there now. Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, so that was huge. So every week I was writing new songs to perform live in front of people and on the radio. So there was a huge community for this kind of music, and they really, really encouraged me. And then once I'd been doing that for a year, somebody said, "You should go to Nashville if you're serious."
Yeah. So you went to Nashville.
I went to Nashville, and a year to the day that I moved to Nashville, no kidding, I was on a plane to go record my first album with Pete Anderson. So.
Which is pretty cool, because those of you who don't know Pete was Dwight's guitar player.
And producer.
I
20
mean,
years.
Probably one of the best-known names in the industry, and to get him to produce not just your first album, but your first 2 albums.
Yeah.
And that had to be amazing, man.
It was scary. It was very scary, because again, I was playing so much catch up, as a musician, because I started playing guitar very, very late, like in my mid to late 20s, and then the next year I was recording with Pete. So I was a songwriter for sure. I could tell that, but my musicianship, I thought, was going to get me sent back home. So, But, he turned out to be great. Pete was awesome. And not only did he produce the first 2 albums, he was the band leader and the guitarist in the band for, 4 years.
And then on your 3rd album, you get Kenny Vaughn with a fabulous superlatives.
Yeah.
I mean, are you like the luckiest guy on earth or what?
I like working with guitarists. I really do. And I like that relationship between, writing the songs and then taking it to a guitarist and saying, all right, let's make something here.
With both those guys, when they were working on your albums, did you have an idea of how songs would go coming into it, and then those guys kind of make the songs a living, breathing thing and change them a little bit?
Right. Well, especially on the first two albums, I wasn't a musician enough or experienced enough to hear anything outside of what I was doing, just the lyrics and my, rudimentary kind of chord changes. So Pete really brought those songs to life.
Yeah.
And then, but, a little bit more with Kenny, but not too much. I knew some things I wanted, but now as things go on, like with the Hierarchy of Crows album, I'm starting to really hear things and try and achieve them.
Right.
And sometimes you don't reach it, but what you do reach turns out to be cool in a different way. So
because when you have those guys on your first three albums, and then you're on your fifth album now, you've kind of learned something in the process along the way, so that you're able to put yourself as a producer on the album and really know where you need to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's all out of necessity. I find more than anything. It's certainly not that I'm confident in anything I do. It's just sort of out of necessity. So. Me and my buddy Blake, who I wrote a couple of songs with, and he played drums on it, and our other friend who was a road manager during the Pete days, got together and produced the thing, and but it was out of necessity, not because we thought we knew what we were doing.
Well, let's get you to do something for us right now.
Sure.
What do you want to do this morning?
Let's do a little thing called Just Left Home. I just left home about a week ago, and I ain't never seen the inside of this bar before. Maybe you could show me, maybe you get to know me. I just left home about a week ago. I'm standing on the corner in the driving rain. I ain't got no money to ride no train. Maybe you could loan me, or maybe you just stone me. I just left home about a week ago. Oh, Bill. I told you that I loved you, you know it would be a lie. But I'm afraid if I don't say it, honey, you won't let me try. Maybe you'll forgive me, or maybe you'll just shift me. I just left home about a week ago. Take your paper heart into my burning hands. I crashed into your world, and here I stand. Maybe you can see me, maybe you see right through me. I just left home about a week ago. Hey, honey, I just live home about a week ago. Oh, honey, I just live home about a week ago.
Moot Davis live in studio this morning on KHYI and the All-Star Morning Show. Good stuff there. And
Cool.
You grew up in New Jersey. We talked about that. And then tell me if this is true or not.
All right.
Okay. You got expelled from a performing arts college.
I did.
Because you were skipping classes to kind of court your English teacher.
Yeah. So our high school had this performing arts sort of VOTEC program, and I found out about it a year too late. So I found out about it when I was a junior. You're supposed to find out about it when you're a sophomore, so you can attend this 2-year program, as a junior and senior, and then graduate both from high school and from this performing arts school. But I'd found out about it too late, and then anyway, so I didn't start it until my senior year of high school. So I did my senior year there, and everything went great. And then my freshman year of college, the performing arts school happened to be on the same campus. So
Right.
I would still go to this performing arts high school kind of thing in the morning, and then the rest of the day would spend doing my college classes at the same campus. And I had this great English teacher, and I started having this affair with her, and I would skip class every Friday, skip the acting school to go out and have some drinks with the teacher, and then hang out and do our thing. And I remember one time the lady that ran the acting school saw me getting into this teacher's car and speeding off or whatever, and so they kicked me out. So yeah.
And then she ended up taking you to L.A.
Oh, right. Well, that was another lady. There was a couple of affairs happening out there. I was relying on the
You were young,
kindness of strangers.
right?
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
young.
Yeah.
You were trying to be a star, trying
to make friends.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. And speaking of acting, you did some acting.
I did,
and you did some acting in New Zealand as well.
I did that as well. Yeah,
and then you've had some of your songs appear in movies. Whiskey Town was in was it Crash?
It sure was, yeah. That was one of the earliest songs that I wrote, and that was one of the songs that I took to Pete Anderson. Yeah. And the folks who worked on Sling Blade, which Pete and Dwight worked on, were the same folks that were kind of doing the music for Crash.
Yeah.
And at the time, Crash was just a low-budget movie with a lot of great people in it. And they called up Pete and said, hey, we're looking for a song. We have a David Allan Coe song in there currently, but he wants too much money. Do you have anything that'll fit in here?
Can you play something on the cheap is what he's really saying, right?
Yeah, well, that's us, So it went in there, and we had no idea it was going to do so well, you know. But it was huge, and my brother and I got invited to the premiere out in L.A.
That was pretty cool, right?
Oh, it was awesome. It's so strange to watch a movie and to for the first time to see on the big screen and the whole thing, and to hear your song, and it played for such a long time in the film. It's kind of at a little pivotal scene. So it was just a great feeling.
And folks may also have heard your song on the TV show Supernatural as well. Some of your songs.
Well, it's funny. That's the placement of songs in film and television has been a really great part of my career, because I think we have 21 placements.
That's pretty cool.
It ain't too bad for somebody that has no idea what they're doing. So yeah.
Well, let's get you to do another one for us.
Sure. Well, a friend of mine once asked me if I'd ever written a murder ballad, and I told her no. I write from experience, and obviously that hadn't come up yet. But
let's hope not.
Yeah, that's right. So, but she said, "We'll try and see what you can do." So this is our murder ballad, and this is my father. This is his favorite song that we do. So we're all kind of concerned about him. Here's a little thing called Black and White Picture. I got a black and white picture of the man I used to be. Features, they all look the same, but I swear it ain't me. I was young and always ready, but I never understood that sometimes them things I want, them things ain't no good. Her hair was long and curly, and her eyes sparkled and shined. And when I walked down the boulevard, well, I held her hand in mine. Now we were set to marry early next spring, so I went into town and I bought a golden ring. When from the pawn shop window, I couldn't believe my eyes. But there walked my wife to be arm in arm with another guy. I traded that gold ring for a silver 44. I loaded it right at the counter and I walked out the door. Now I kept my distance as I followed them down to a little hotel on the wrong side of town. I waited in the lobby while they had their fun. When they made their way down the stairs, I pulled out my gun. The moment they saw me, there was fear in their eyes. I leveled my old 44 and I pulled the trigger twice. As her and her young lover lay bleeding on them stairs, turned my gun on everyone 'cause I no longer care. I shot the old porter and the bell captain too, hotel guest and the front desk clerk, all before I was through. When the gun no longer fired, I threw it at the rest and went and sat down next to my love and waited for my arrest. As the sirens grew louder and a crowd gathered around, I noticed something clenched in her fist that I hadn't seen till now. I pried her fingers open, wondering what it could be, when to my horror I saw it was a picture of me. I got a black and white picture of the man I used to be. Features, they all look the same, but I swear it ain't me.
Moot Davis live in studio this morning. Good stuff, man.
Cool, buddy.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
New album is called Hierarchy of Crows. You can get that on Amazon, iTunes, just about anywhere.
Right on.
You guys are off next to Ben Wheeler,
Ben
right?
Wheeler, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the Moore store. We'll be there.
Before we go, Robin Hood or Dodge City, which is the better Errol Flynn?
Oh,
movie?
Robin Hood, without a doubt. Yeah,
because you're a huge Errol Flynn fan.
I'm a massive Errol Flynn fan. Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite's the Seahawk.
Seahawk, yeah.
Which is just a killer movie. But yeah, there's something about Errol Flynn's story. I don't know if you've ever read I don't know if you've ever read his autobiography, but it is. It's called My Wicked Wicked Ways, and it's quite a story. You should check it out.
Definitely, we'll do that. All right, man. It's a pleasure getting to meet you and have you in the studio here. And guys, you got to check out Moot Davis. You got to do it. The album is Hierarchy of Crows. And last question before we go.
All right.
What is it with shark heads at this little cantina in California, man?
Right, yeah.
And pictures. All your friends have pictures in the shark heads.
You know, we go there. There's this bar in Burbank, California, where I was living, and it's called Viva Cantina. It's a Mexican joint, and it's great. It's also a live music venue, but for whatever reason, they have this prop shark head there, and nobody's ever picked it up and put it on their head. You know, it was because it's heavy. It's really, really heavy. But, you know, we'd sort of start drinking, and eventually I'd try and talk all my friends into putting it on and taking pictures of them. So, I don't know. Yeah, it was just killing time in Burbank. So.
Yeah, I think it started out as they were just putting their heads in the mouth, right?
Oh,
and
right,
then somebody, a reporter or somebody who was interviewing you, actually picked it up and put it on. Nobody ever did that, and then you started doing the pick it up, put it on stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Moot Davis, go check him out. Get the album called Hierarchy of Crows. Thanks for listening to the Red Dirt America podcast.